Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. And on Thought Thursday, we have back Amber Valdez, life purpose cheerleader, amazing woman. She's guiding 1 million light workers to their divine calling. That's no little feat.
No, it is not. And some days I ask myself, why did I choose this one this lifetime?
I think your journey is so interesting because you went from NFL cheerleader to a life purpose cheerleader. How do you define life purpose?
So I believe that each and every one of us came on this planet for a divine soul assignment, and i.e. a life purpose. And once we start to execute that soul assignment, everything in our life really starts working.
That sounds great, but how do you even find out what that is so you can execute it?
Great question. So I really believe it starts with going within. I know you speak about that a lot, and connecting with God, universe, source, your higher power, and really getting clear, because I know in my heart that every single one of us knows what our purpose is. Our ego, i.e. I call it the dark side, likes to divert us onto things. So for me, for a really long time, I was chasing that fame. I was a TV host, and I was obsessed with all the things that on the outside I thought would make me feel worthy and make me feel like I was accepted and enough. And it was through that pursuit and going through a dark night of the soul, losing my dad, finding out I was in a relationship with a sex addict, that literally my house of home, my dream was dead and my father was dead. And it forced me to really go within and get quiet and do the work to love myself, to really truly love myself and find that love within through source, that I was able to kind of clear out all the muck and really just get really clear on why I'm here.
I love that. So why do you say you work with light workers? How would you define light workers versus, say, because I guess I would define myself as that, but I wouldn't. You know what I mean? I think it's a specific genre within the spiritual world. How do you define light workers?
Well, I most definitely consider you a light worker. A light worker is an individual who is here to raise the collective consciousness of the planet. A light worker is here to make sure that other people win, that everyone else's light is on. And so a light worker is literally paving the way by shining their light so then others can find their way home as well.
Okay, I'm officially a light worker.
100%, girl. Are you kidding me? Come on.
But I think it's like a genre, like it's like Burning Man versus, you know what I mean? It's like kind of like a specific genre.
Yeah, and not everyone is a light worker. We all have our own divine soul assignment.
I love all of it.
I just want to
it's not an easy feat, man.
This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine.
That's right, girl.
No, so tell us about the live event.
Yeah, so the Let Your Light Shine Live is my 5-week online course, combining my 10 years of on-camera hosting experience with my ability to get super raw, vulnerable, and authentic. And going through that dark night of the soul and using the power of live video, I was able to go from 700 followers to 10,000 overnight, just from my ability to be messy as F and shine my light and also my dark. And I think that's something that oftentimes some of us who are leading massive amounts of people feel like we got to get it perfect, we got to say all the right things. And it's really through the vulnerability, the authenticity, and turning our mess into our message that those that are also kind of swimming in the harbor will also see themselves in you and give themselves permission and know they're not alone.
But what's the trick to that? Because so many people don't want to just appear messy. It seems like you have to have it figured out, then show I was messy, but now look at me.
I think that was the old paradigm. And I think where we're going now is that human beings connect through intimacy and compassion. And that's how we create trust. And I think that as a collective, we're sick of the mask of like, we got it all together. And you can see it on the political stage. We won't go down that rabbit hole. But we want to know the truth. And once we show our humanness, we realize we're not alone. And that's how we connect, through compassion, through vulnerability, through intimacy. And it creates connection and deep levels of trust. And then people want to work with you. I can't tell you guys, I've seen this in my business, and it can't be faked. I see a lot of people like faking the authenticity. Let me purposely not put makeup on and let me purposely mess up my hair. That's not it. What it really is how can you share what's happened for you, i.e. to you, turning it into for you. And in that process of not having it figured out, you create that intimacy and trust. And that's when most of my videos have honestly gone viral, when I didn't want anything, but I just shared some of my darkest things and really like owning that shadow, because the shadow, we're all equal parts of the shadow and the light. And I think it's important that we as leaders share all of ourselves.
So important. I remember, I've known you for some time, and you literally do feel like a cheerleader every time you're around. You just have that beautiful, supportive energy. And I remember hearing your story about how you were on camera and an NFL cheerleader and how you're doing light working now. And I was thinking, how profound is the universe that knows exactly what it's doing? Because we would think, you weren't supposed to do that. No, because now you're helping people, learn how to be on camera for people doing light working. So it's really amazing how profound it is.
Isn't
And
it crazy?
You're such a light. You really are.
Thanks, Erin.
So tell people, what does it look like if someone comes and they go, I want to work with you? What does that look like?
Well, I have my online programs in other areas, and I have my one-on-one coaching and my light worker activation workshops around the world. But in terms of learning how, if you have a message on your heart, or you have a program, or you have a product that you need to get out, we really got to turn your light all the way on. So the Let Your Light Shine Live is a 5-week video course that takes you through getting vulnerable and comfortable and diving into deep levels of authenticity in a safe container. So I have support coaches, I have guest experts, and through that course of 5 weeks, you will begin to really love all sides of you. And as you release those dark sides of yourself and you own those parts, you stand taller and you are naturally more confident because you begin to love all of yourself and no longer hide those parts of you that you've been scared to share. So it's a really beautiful thing. And by the end of the course, everybody goes live. And the response, I mean, people have 10x their businesses, 20x their businesses. And it's so cool to look back at my students and see what they're doing in the world and how their lives and their businesses are really working and they're helping people.
Are you able to share with us some of those success stories? I mean, who have you worked and turned their light on?
Oh my goddess. So a mom of 4 in Australia. I have a worldwide tribe of students, and you know, she's definitely a healer, a light worker. She does light language and she helps moms really like learn how to parent in their own unique way. And she was terrified to go on camera, very soft spoken. Now she's got a YouTube channel. Now she's doing like, you know, workshops. Trentimus Briggs had a hard time filling his programs. After the program, he 10x'd his business and continuing to share stories just like that. People so scared to be seen, worried about messing up, worried about being judged. And really just once you break through all that, you really no longer need anyone else's approval. And then you can just stand in your truth and your connection with source and just serve.
And I'm sure part of that is having people come out of the spiritual closet, meaning that it's scary to talk about some of the things that happen when we awaken, because people are going to think we're crazy. And we talk about it a lot. It's like, this is just normal past lives. Like, how can you not know this past lives? Like, get with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so how do you help people get comfortable with coming out of their spiritual closet?
Yeah, so that's really what we do in the Let Your Light Shine Live bootcamp is we really get comfortable sharing those things, because most people in your family think you're crazy or your immediate circle of influence. And through that experience, you're creating a tribe that sees you, that fans your flame, and then you get comfortable owning your light, owning your medicine in a container where people honor that and celebrate that. And so through going through the process of sharing these dark nights, the shadow self, we do a lot of shadow work, don't want to scare you, but it's so necessary because we got to transform that darkness into light so we can own all of who we are.
It's incredible to have a safe container, to
Yes.
be able to learn how to express that. But the rest of the world is not a safe container. Instagram is not a safe container. So to continue to do that in an unsafe territory, how do you protect your energy? How do you protect yourself?
Yes, thank you for sharing that. It's funny because Instagram is more safe for me than Facebook was for the longest time, because I had so much family and like mean girls from high school, and I still had a lot of wounding there. So for me, Instagram, I share it all, but it really takes practice. And I think it's about getting comfortable sharing who you are, being cheered on, having a tribe of other people that see you and celebrate you, and really just continuing to lean in, because being a leader isn't easy. You're going to take arrows. Anytime you put yourself out there and fight for something that you believe in, you're going to be susceptible. We can look at the great leaders of our time, right? But we get in the practice of leaning in anyway and having that courage and staying connected to source. So teach, voice activation techniques, meditation, going within, giving them all my tools that I go to protect my vibration, to ground my vibration, and just continuing to lean back into the light. And of course, having that tribe of light workers cheering you on when you have those days, right? Where you may have a troll online. But what I'm finding is the more light you shine, the more dark comes, but you get to surround yourself with people that see you and can remind you who you are.
So awesome. Thank you so much for all of your work. Tell people where they can find your course, how they can find you.
Yes, so get over to bit.ly/shine light, I think it's class, shine light class, live shine class. Oh my goddess. Get the Life Purpose Cheerleader on Instagram, lifepurposecheerleader.com, Life Purpose Cheerleader on Facebook.
She'll have it in her links there in her bio.
And I'm sure we'll have the link somewhere here. So trust.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.